Peace, peace, peace. Let me know if you guys can hear me, as well as the background music. What's up, Dank Wizard? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Want to make sure I set everything up correctly and properly before we go any further. Loud and clear. All right. Good. So right now I'm testing a little setup. You guys see the mic in front of me. So doing a little screen share. You guys should also see my screen, the iPad screen. So just trying something new. That way I can do a little bit more illustrations, as I speak. So you guys can have a more visual experience, but also be able to still see my face as well. Because I know I've put out videos just showing the screen without having my face in. So we see that this is pretty much the industry standard at this point, pretty much. We see all types of people making content, sharing their screens at this point. Greetings, Marvin. Greetings. So yeah, if everything is good, we can get it in. I just wanted to do this initial test to make sure that the audio is good, so y'all can hear me speaking, you can hear the audio in the background, and you can actually see the screen. So if all those things are good, we can make it happen. So just like always, I'll allow people to not waste their time. So I'm gonna definitely kick some game while I'm doing this test. So I definitely want to see. So let me test out the screen now. So if I did put something on screen, you guys can see properly. So that's the last thing I need to test. So I'll just start pinning up something. Let's see. Let's make sure that it works. See what we got here. All right. Let's see what happens. So it seems as if everything is coming through well. So that's a good sign. I can see everything that's going on. All right. Let's see if I write something. I actually got some new music for you guys. So I'm really just playing this background music, whenever I want to be serious or whatever, but I got some new music. I know I haven't been live in a while, but I've been putting in that work. So just showing you guys what's been going on. Got a whole new setup here. All right, so I'm gonna reveal some new music never before heard outside the city of Las Vegas. So I will reveal some tracks I've been working on. Me and the homie, shout out to the OG. been putting in some tracks, so I definitely will reveal those. And unless you guys tell me different, I think everything is good. Unless you guys see something different. And if you do see something different, let me know. But it has literally taken me days to get this set up right and exact. It's literally taken me days. I had to learn the software. I had to learn how to connect everything and configure it to the limitations of my personal technology. Right, so it's taken a while. So that's why you guys haven't seen me, but now that everything is good, you guys should be seeing me a lot more often. So everything is looking good. The stream is in excellent health. Respect, GG. Respect. So yeah, I'll put some knowledge in your brain. We'll start at 10 minutes. So like I said, I'm just doing some tests real quick, so you guys can kind of see where I'm going with it. You already know where I'm going with it. Looks great, clear picture. All right. So yeah, it took some time, you know. It's taking some time to get everything set up to where it's running smoothly. So I'm glad that everything actually worked out well, and we see the results here. So I just want to thank everybody for the continued support. This would not be possible without the support of those who are loyal. So just showing and proving that I am making the steps to give you guys a better experience. I understand that it's more than knowledge. I understand that, you know, this is, I guess, some form of entertainment as well. So it would be, you know, very graceful to actually be able to show some more imagery, especially imagery that I can draw with my hand. Because I know most people share their screen, but I'm actually trying to draw up some heat and show you guys my penmanship. Yeah, so far so good. But yeah, let me know what's been going on with you guys. Anybody has any questions, any concerns, feel free to let that be known. I'm just going to be scribbling on the screen. But anyway, we are in Scorpio season. We are in the 46th week of the year. Let me just write this stuff out. Why not? November is your favorite month. 11th month. We understand 11 is the master seer. So we are in the month of the master seer. We are also in the year of the ox. We have 2 more months, basically the year of the ox, in terms of the Chinese zodiac sign. So for the Chinese, the ox will be our equivalent to the Taurus, because the ox is their second zodiac sign and ours is Taurus. So it's pretty much the equivalent to the Taurus energy. And we understand Taurus to be the second house. which represents our talents, as well as many other things, but just for this example, we'll just say talents. So it is in our second house that we develop our talents. And of course, we know 1 plus 1 gives you that 2. So we're right back to the 2, which is the energy of the moon, representing the subconscious mind. So now we have the energies of the moon, we have energies of Taurus, we have the master number 11. Taurus then takes us to the Hierophant, or Vav, the Hebrew letter Vav, represented as the Hierophant in the tarot. And the Hierophant represents the link to the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Running out of space here. You see, as soon as I start laying down these mathematics, it get crazy. So we said the Vav, Hebrew letter Vav, represents the link between the conscious and the subconscious. So it is through Vav that we become the Hierophant. And the Hierophant just represents the medium, or again, the connect, if we want to use modern terms. So Vav is essentially the connect. So you become the connector. To embody the energy of Vav, Hebrew letter Vav, you become the connector of not only your own subconscious and conscious mind, but also the connector between the feminine and masculine energies. So it also helps to balance the feminine and the masculine. All right. Peace, peace. Back from hiatus. So essentially, the reason why I'm doing this is so we can reflect on the entirety of the year. Again, we have only a couple more weeks left. So if we look back at the entirety of this year, you can say this year revolved around the ox, or Taurus, or Vav in terms of the background energy. So what I'm speaking about now is the background energy, not necessarily energy that you're going to see right in front of you, but the energy that remains in the background is there for you to tap into it if you are aware of it. So as long as you are aware of the mathematics, and this is the purpose of knowing astrology, numerology, Kabbalah, tarot, etc., etc., etc. These are all mathematical components of the universe. So if we want to understand the universe, if we want to understand ourselves as creators, we must understand the dynamics of the universe. So not just our inner world, but our outer world. As above, so below. So essentially, to know the universe is to know yourself, or to know yourself is to know the universe, right? They go hand in hand. So this is why I place such a emphasis on these mathematical components, because this is how we access the hidden truth. So we don't have to depend on, the mainstream media to have an understanding of what's really going on in the world. We can always take it to our ancient mathematics. And we know it works because it is not accepted in the mainstream. It is not because it is invalid, it is because it is valid. And if you want to control or maintain control, You're not going to give people the tools to unlock their own destiny. Because there's a difference between destiny and fate. To move with your destiny, for example, or in accordance to your destiny, is to be moving in a destination that allows your light to multiply. We all understand we are light beings, so our purpose is to multiply and expand our light. So to move in the direction or the destination of your destiny is to multiply your light. Or, let's not even say it that way. Let's make it even more simpler here. Destiny just represents you having access to your higher self. Just keep it playing for now. So to move in accordance with your destiny, you have access to your higher self, which just represents your mathematical mind. Because our higher self is Aquarius. So essentially to tap into our inner Aquarius. Aquarius is the 11th house. The 11th house represents our goals, our aspirations, our hopes and wishes, but it also represents our occult community. Or group consciousness. As we expand our magic through our group consciousness. So people who call themselves woke, for example, that's the perfect embodiment of what this is talking about. People tapping into their Aquarius. Aquarius, as we know, is not just a rebel. Aquarius is also about uniqueness. What makes us unique from everyone else? This also ties into our Chiron. Because Chiron shows us exactly what makes us unique. But sticking to Aquarius, Aquarius is also the activist, right? So if we look at Aquarius, who is ruled by Uranus, Uranus is the number 4. And we understand if we just look at the year 2020, which was last year, we understand that 2 plus 2 gives us the 4. So you can say 2020 was a Uranian year, and this is why we've seen so much of this last year, and we see for the next 5 years, because Uranus will change its sign in 2025. Right now, Uranus is in Aries, Eastern, or Taurus, Western. So Uranus, these effects that we are seeing that started in 2020 will be playing out for the next 5 years. Until Uranus changes its sign from Aries to Taurus, or from Taurus to Gemini. So we can look at both sides here to see the difference between what's going on. So if we look at Uranus, its current position in Aries, Eastern, or Taurus, Western, in 2025, Taurus will become Gemini, and Aries will become Taurus. So what does all this mean? What happens when Uranus is in Aries. We understand Aries to be the starter of the zodiac. Peace, peace, peace. 420 God. Peace, peace. Now we understand Taurus to be the preserver of the zodiac, because Taurus is a fixed sign, whereas Aries is a cardinal sign. Right? I think this is how you spell it. I may be spelling that wrong. Cardinal. You know, you got the cardinal signs, the fixed signs, and the mutable signs. Now, because Taurus is a fixed sign, we understand Aries to represent the element of fire. I'm just going to put a triangle for the fire element, and for Taurus I'm going to put a earth element, which is the upside down triangle with a line through it. So Aries is a cardinal fire and Taurus is a fixed earth. So what happens when you move from the cardinal fire to the fixed earth of Taurus, again, which we know now to be Vav? Aries is hay, but mainstream wise it is not hay. This is only under the 93 or Thelema where the energy was switched. So we just speak from the 93 perspective because that's what we always speaking from anyway. So we speak from the 93 perspective. So in mainstream Kabbalah, Aries is not hay. Aries is actually Zadi. Or actually, I'm saying it backwards. Aries is actually hay in the mainstream. And Zadi is actually, and I'm talking about Hebrew now, Zadi is actually Aries. So that's the secret meaning of Aries, is Zadi. Zadi is like electricity, right? Again, it's getting crazy now. I'm just writing all over the place. But Zadi represents electricity. So Aries being the starter of the zodiac, now we're dealing with lightning. Lightning. Uranus is also air, the elements of air. And that's why we've been having so much airborne disease. We don't have to name what it is. We all know what it is. But in terms of airborne diseases affecting your lungs, this is all the air element. So there's a reason why in 2020, the air element was mainstream. And again, 2020 to 2025, for the most part. So for all of us thinking that, things are going to be, settled. People thought things would be settled around this time. In 2020, we thought by 2021, things would be a lot more calm. You can say things are more calm, but now things have become more restrictive, with all these mandates, and you have to have paperwork to do certain things now. So this will be going on for 2025. So strap in your seatbelts. Make sure you are putting in that work excessively, not excessively like overdoing it, but it must be a daily practice. Because again, we got years. We have years to deal with this. So it may be in 2025 where we actually have an alternative route. What I mean by an alternative route, meaning there will be enough people who have assembled together to be able to create new avenues. So basically the people that are pushing back from all this madness and the restrictions and the mandates, by 2025, you can say there will be an alternative force in play that will allow people to do things outside of the mainstream, right? So again, this is all, I'm just giving everybody an overview of, what's going on, what has been going on, and what will happen. So past, present, and future, just using the astrological mathematics to make sense of this chaos. So again, we always can fall back on our mathematical ability to understand the chaos. And we don't have to rely on the messengers in the mainstream who, are paid to say whatever they say or to do whatever they do. As we already know, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But this is why people like me exist and those who are similar to this reality, to reveal what's actually going on, to put the spark in the brains of those who want the spark to be activated within them so that they can have a transformation in their lives, similar to the transformations we have seen in the past with our ancestors. We will represent the future. The reason they want to cut us off from anything ancient, because it alters your fate. And that's, again, we spoke about destiny, which is basically just aligning with your higher self. Peace, moon spirit, peace, peace. We spoke about destiny, which is you aligning with your higher self or your holy guardian angel, for those who understand Thelema. So when you unite with your holy guardian angel, which is a separate consciousness of you or from you, it is separate from your consciousness, but it is ultimately connected to you to help you guide you and to help you through all of the chaos. Now, fate, on the other hand, is more so a collective experience. And when I say a collective experience, I'm more so speaking about the collective unconscious. So when it comes to the collective unconscious, fate is more so a collective experience, but it is not, people are not aware, basically. It's not something that people are aware that's going on. So most people are unaware of their fate. Because it is unconscious. Whereas your destiny may be more conscious, because you at least know where you would like to be or where you would like to go. You have some sense of your destiny because it is more so dealing with your conscious mind. So you can say a person's destiny is within their consciousness. Now, whether or not they are living out their destiny is personal, but we at least can acknowledge what we would like to do and where we would like to be, so we can bring that to the conscious mind. However, with fate, it's not necessarily something you just bring to your conscious, because it is seated in the unconscious mind. So whenever we are speaking about the unconscious mind, now we know we're dealing with karma. Now we know we're dealing with spirituality. Now we're dealing with all things paranormal. Why? Because this is the 12th house. 12th house is ruled by Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Right? Neptune represents the dark side of the moon. As we call the Lilith frequency. Right? So Neptune being a Lilith frequency and Pisces being all things paranormal or unusual, basically dealing with karma. This is why most people are not aware of their fate, because all this is happening karmically. All this is happening spiritually. It is happening in the astrals. So it represents astral dynamics. So your fate is more so the results of your destiny. So essentially, when a person decides to live out their destiny or not, that will determine their faith. Their faith is determined, or their fate, not faith, but their fate is determined by whether or not they choose to walk in accordance with their destiny, because your fate will be the end result of that decision. So your fate is essentially what we determine as reincarnation. So the whole concept of reincarnation deals with fate, because you can say it's not necessarily anybody's destiny to reincarnate, but it will be their fate if they decide not to live out their destiny. So they will have to do it another time. And again, our destiny is always conscious to us. We can bring it to our consciousness, but we may not be able to bring our fate to our consciousness. Like the same way a person may not know whether they're going to heaven or hell. And again, we're just speaking metaphorically here. But that will be an example of fate, where you go after your death. So that ain't necessarily something that you just choose for yourself. Okay, well, I want to go here or I want to go here. Where you end up going will be the result of your karma once again. So now it is no longer a conscious decision like it was when you were alive. Now it becomes unconscious. Now it is strictly spiritual. Now it is strictly astral. All right. So just to make that clear, the difference between destiny and fate, and how they are connected but separate, so that we can properly place everything where it needs to be placed. All right. So again, I don't want to be on here too long, because again, this is ultimately a test, but I just want to make the time worth it. So if we look at 2021, our current year, just give you guys some current analysis to ponder on. We understand 2021 is a year of the 5. The 5 is the energy of Mercury, who is a communicator or the messenger. All right, excuse me. So because Mercury is a messenger, as Mercury represents communications, as we all know, Mercury also rules over the 3rd and 6th house. The 3rd being the house of Gemini, the 6th being the house of Virgo. 6th house is the house of self-improvement. And Gemini is the energy of, yeah, it could be many things, but if we just want to tone it down to one thing, you can say this is where we think, our thinking ability. So we think from the 3rd house and we improve ourselves from the 6th house, and all these are attributes of Mercury. Mercury, as we know, what we should know, is a Roman deity. It comes from the Roman pantheon. Because if we take it to the Greek pantheon, Mercury translates to Hermes. Hermes is known as the thief, right? The king of the thieves, right? The thief king. So if we look at 2021, if we look at what has been going on the entirety of this year, there's been a lot of thievery. And what I mean by thievery and scammery, I know that's not a word, but I'm just going to say it anyway. There's been a lot of thievery and scammery going on this entire year. Whether it's people trying to, get PPP loans, scamming the government, so on and so forth. There's been a lot of scamming in 2021. Right? We've all seen it on our own personal level. People tapping into their Mercury spirit. So it's less of an individual thing and more of a collective thing, because that is the energy of this year, 2021. Now, if we take it a step further, because Mercury, of course, goes beyond the energy of the thief or Hermes or the Roman energy. Hermes also represents the idea of androgyny, to be androgynous. So we can see that 2021 was also an energy of androgyny. Androgyny in the sense of, because before we go there, Mercury also is logic and reason. And no, not the engineering software like Logic Pro X. No, we're not talking about that. This eraser is huge. Anyway, let me take all this off. Anyway, the 5 is the energy also of logic and reason. So that's why 2021 has been the year also of science, right? What have we been hearing on all the time in the news? Listen to the science, or follow the science. It's been all about science, 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 because it's 2021. That is the energy of Mercury. So all the scientific minds out here, peace, Queen Kaddish. This is why we've been hearing this language in one form or another. That's why this is. So again, I'm just showing you guys that we follow the mathematics. The mathematics doesn't follow us. Let me actually write that. Let me write that down. We follow math. We follow the math. The math doesn't follow us. If you understand this one statement, then you have unlocked the great secret of the universe. Why? Because everybody's trying to follow the money, as people say, right? That's what people say. Follow the money, right? Follow the money. You want to know what's going on? Follow the money. The money just represents the math. Money is mathematics. Follow the math. Follow the planets. Because all numbers break down the planets. That's the whole science of numerology. Well, I'm not going to say numerology because standard numerology doesn't necessarily link the planets with numbers. But you can link the planets with numbers. But again, I'm not saying that every numerologist does that. Because again, these are all separate sciences that we are combining. Astrology stands by itself. Numerology stands by itself. The tarot stands by itself. Kabbalah stands by itself. All we're doing is piecing these things together. The Hebrew alphabet, gematria, all these things stand alone. But when we synchronize all of these things, we can see the picture form. It's harder to see the picture when we only have one piece or two pieces to a 100-piece puzzle. So if the puzzle is 100 pieces or 100 disciplines, 100 occult disciplines, if we need to study 100 dynamics or 100 dimensions of the occult to understand how to decode the universe, then I say, why not? I understand everyone doesn't feel that way, but I say, why not? All right. So if we understand that we follow the math doesn't follow us. That means we must be aware of the planetary frequencies. The more we are aware of the movements of the planets, the more we can understand and actually predict where the numbers will fall. And this is essentially the law of chance. To predict where the numbers will fall. And why do I say where the numbers will fall? What is with this fall of numbers? Well, if we look at any standard card deck, if we look at the Joker card, we actually see the Joker pouring down cards. Let me actually show you guys what I mean by that. So let me go to my Safari browser. Hopefully it's not nothing in here that's crazy. So there's a YouTube channel. Guess I was just watching cat videos here, just testing out. So I was watching these videos earlier, just testing out, you know, if do I get smooth playback. So hopefully the playback is actually smooth. You may not be able to hear any sound, but we see that essentially the playback is pretty smooth, but I don't want to, you know, watch too much of that for copyright purposes. But let's get to the point of, I wanted to show you guys the falling of cards. So let me open up a new tab here. Yeah. Cards. Joker card. All right. So yes, my iPad is not child-proof. So if you see some craziness, then that's just me. But yeah, just don't complain to YouTube. If you see some craziness on here, just don't complain to YouTube. It's not intentional. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to show anything crazy. But it may be some pornographic material in here. Not because it's, you know, you may just Google something and something pornographic may come up that you're not necessarily looking for. So I'm saying I'm doing this. I didn't do any of this ahead of time. So if you see something crazy, it's not intentional. Yeah, we see, of course, exactly. Don't worry about that. But what I want to show you guys is the falling of cards. Let's not get distracted with the madness. Here's a. So if we see here, we see this Joker pouring down cards upon the earth. So we all should have seen this before at some point, right? We may not necessarily knew what it meant or what it symbolized, but we have all seen this before. Why is the Joker falling or pouring down the cards upon the earth? What is this symbolizing? The first thing we must understand is all cards we know originated with the tarot. So before we played cards like we do now, just playing regular card games of fortune, basically cards of fortune, because that's essentially what people do. Even with tarot cards now, most people have lowered it down to just fortune telling, whereas the tarot is much deeper than fortune telling. It's a whole psychological tool to reawaken dimensions of yourself that have been suppressed for whatever reason, whatever the cause is. So we have to reawaken or reestablish our link to the universe. This is why you have the Joker standing on top of the world. Who else do we see standing or sitting on top of the world? Oh, that's right. It is also the Baphomet, right? We also see the Baphomet. So let's go back. And I'm gonna change this music too. You guys are probably getting, let me change this music. You guys are probably getting tired of this loop. Let me just play some madness. Give me 1 second here. Let me find out what I'm doing. So while you guys look into the Baphomet, as you see, the Baphomet is seated on top of the world, especially in this first image here. We see the same dimension there, right? The Baphomet seated on top of the world. The only thing that's missing is the cards, right? All right. 1 second to change this music. I'll just put on some music I've been recording so you guys will listen to it. All right. 1 second here. One second. All right, what is going on here? Hold on. Yeah, as soon as I put the Baphomet on the screen, right? Let's see. I don't know what's going on now. Let me just stop this. Alright, let me just end this. Let's see. They definitely don't like that Baphomet on the screen now, do they?